Hey, how's it going? Today I'm talking about new running shoes to heal your injury.
This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone RunDisney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line.
If you're like 90% of my clients, part of your running journey goes something like this. You sign up for a race, let's say you sign up for the marathon, you search online for a training plan, find a popular one, print it, you pull out your calendar and you count back from race day to see when you need to start training. Unless you download my free training plan that has the exact dates right on there. You get the shoes, you have the Bomba socks, your favorite outfits, you're ready to go. You start training and you're doing great. In the first month or so, you're running 3, 4, 5.5, 7 miles. You're adding more and more miles and you're getting faster every week. Then on your long run, your knee starts hurting around mile 8. Weird. It's been going great. It's not that bad, so you finish the 9 miles and you make sure to stretch extra good and ice when you get home. It goes away. This week, training doesn't go great because life got lifey and the stress of home life takes over, so you miss some of the midweek workouts. But that's okay. They're the short ones. The next week, it's a shorter run because it cuts back to 3, and that goes swimmingly. You're back on track with life and you get your training runs in and your pace is on point. Then it's time for the 11-mile run. You stretch extra good just in case because 11 miles is scary. It starts off great, but then your knee starts bugging you again around like the 8 or 9 mile mark, and it sticks around for the rest of the run. This time, extra stretching isn't taking it away and you're needing to ice a bit longer. So if you've gotten to this point, now you're checking the bottom of your shoes and Googling how to know if you need to replace them. You search Facebook groups for what shoes other runners run in if they have knee pain. You've gotten so many recommendations, so you buy a pair. By the time you get them, it's time for your 13-mile run, which is perfect because you just got your new shoes. Time to try them out. This time, your pain comes back at mile 3. You stop running and you walk home. So you start the process over. On average, my clients try 3 new pairs of shoes before we start working together. So you're not alone if this has happened to you. I know this story so well because my clients tell me the same thing. So it's not that you keep choosing the wrong shoes. The shoes, a lot of the time, I hate to say it, don't matter. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying run barefoot or in Chucks. But with how running shoes are made now, you'd have to have some rare anomaly or injury that needs custom shoes to not have the majority of running shoes work for you. As an example, I run in Brooks Launch, and I walk barefoot in my house on tile all day. I walk Levi in my Uggs or some random Nike shoes. I don't even know what they're called. When I walk outside for my walk, sometimes I wear my On Cloud. Sometimes I wear another Nike something that I don't know what it's called, my Nike Freeze, or even now I'm thinking about it, another pair of Nikes that I don't know what they're called. So I wear like 8 different pairs of shoes. I also used to run in Adidas Cloud and some other Adidas running shoes. Don't be surprised if I don't know the name of the shoes because I don't necessarily need to. I've never had a knee or Achilles injury. I have had an old ankle sprain from when I tore it up twice in a 6-month period when I was a senior in high school 20 years ago, but that had nothing to do with running. I wasn't even a runner then. I was a soccer player and a gymnast, and I stepped in a hole at soccer camp and twisted my ankle, and I did not get the proper PT and rehab and exercises after because I didn't know, and my doctor said it was a minor sprain and I didn't need anything. And then that was in August, and then November, the first Monday after Thanksgiving, I went to gymnastics practice. That was our first practice of the season, and I landed on my ankle sideways, and I was out for the season, all because I didn't take care of it when it was the minor injury. But that's a completely other story. But I haven't had running injuries. But I wear all these different shoes and it's never caused me a problem. And that's because of what I'm doing outside of running. Shoes are important, but they're an accessory. They're like the fancy cooking and baking gadgets. Just because you have the kitchen stand mixer doesn't mean your bread is going to rise if you don't follow the recipe and the steps to make sure the bread rises. I think that process is the active dry yeast and letting it sit for 30 minutes, but I'm no baker, I am no chef, so I'm not quite positive. I just follow the recipe to a T, and the homemade bread I make for Royal comes out the way it's supposed to. But I could make the bread without the KitchenAid stand mixer. I could make it with a bowl, a whisk, and a spoon. And it could still rise as long as I do the things that make it rise. Shoes are the KitchenAid stand mixer. They're a bonus. They're an add-on. I could get the job done. I could run in another pair of shoes as long as I'm doing the other parts of the recipe, the other steps of the running journey that make it so your legs can hold up 8, 9, 10 plus miles of running. So what is it that you need? There are a few parts to it. Just like making the bread rise has two important parts to it, the yeast and the waiting 30 minutes to let it work. One part of the recipe to get past the 8 miles is strength training. But not just any strength workout you find out there. There are parts that need to be included, and you can listen to episode 89 to hear all of those key parts. I'll link it in the show notes. But one of those parts is lifting heavy for you, or lifting a solid amount of weight for you. And this amount of weight can and should change over time. But if you're wearing new and expensive shoes, doesn't mean you'll automatically get rid of the pain. They're an accessory. And without doing the other parts of the running recipe, you will have expensive shoes piling up in the closet that you can't return and you can't wear because they aren't right. And instead of it being the wrong shoes the whole time, it was a missing ingredient of the strength training the right way. For the runners that want to finish their next Run Disney race stronger and faster so you stop getting injured, you beat the balloon ladies, and you cross the finish line, I invite you to check out my newest program, Stronger, Faster, Finisher. Get the workouts you need to build speed, stamina, and strength. If that sounds like something you're looking for your next race, visit the link in the show notes to learn more. As always, thanks so much for listening. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.